And now, Slash is taking over 98 Rock. The Slash Radio Takeover, brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort.
It's been 30 amazing years in the making. And now, Slash's newest offering, his self-titled album, is complete. And you're about to get a sneak peek inside. Also, go to our website, where you can get $15 off the Slash Certified Flash Drive, which contains all of his essential works, from Guns N' Roses to the brand new album, Slash. And when you order, you'll get the 10-CD set free. This is the Slash Radio Takeover. He played with Slash in the world-famous GNR. Then, in their more recent collaboration, Velvet Revolver. Here's the host of the Slash Radio Takeover, Duff McKagan.
Welcome to the Slash Radio Takeover. Over the next hour, you'll be some of the first people in America to hear new music from the album Slash. We'll chat about the making of the new record, which is available in stores this Tuesday. Plus, we'll hear exclusive material that isn't going to be on the record. Let's get right to it. This is Slash, along with Ian Astbury of The Cult, doing Ghost on the Slash Radio Takeover. That's Slash featuring Ozzy. The song is Crucify the Dead on the Slash Radio Takeover. I'm your host, Duff McKagan, joined by Slash. Slash, what's happening, dude?
Hey!
It's kind of funny that I'm like your Radio Takeover host.
I'm trying to pretend I don't know you.
It's going to be hard. So you have Ozzy. Who else is on the record?
Iggy Pop.
Iggy?
Fergie. Andrew Stockdale. I know you're going to ask me about the Fergie thing.
No, I'm not. No, I was going to say, I remember the call we got back in 90 or whatever to play on Iggy's
record. Yeah.
For me, that was like one of the
biggest. Yeah, it was huge. Iggy actually was the first guy to come in and sing, and so he really sort of set the tone for the whole rest of the record. He came in, just sort of jumped around. It was great.
Yeah, that's a compliment.
And it was really easy. We did the music, and then he came in, he belted it out in a couple hours. Yeah. And then from that point on, we just went boom, 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 boom.
So Fergie,
people, Chris Cornell,
a
couple mutual friends of ours, Lemmy, M. Shadows, who I didn't know. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, sure.
Rocco DeLuca, which this is sort of like. Sort of a bigger scale introduction for him.
I know, like, just because we hang out a lot over the last 25 years, you started this sort of idea of this record 3-4 years ago, of like getting like a wish list of.
Well, what happened was when we were on tour doing Velvet Revolver's Libertad record, somewhere around there, the idea of having a bunch of people play on my record as opposed to me going and playing theirs, that's where it really cemented in my head. And I was writing my book, and I wrote it down. And
you got to follow through once you write.
Well, you know, and then after the tour was over, and I said, okay, I want to do something on my own, and that seemed like a good tangible idea to go after, you know. And I just sort of sitting around writing music and compiling different ideas and stuff. And Ozzy was the first guy I called. Ozzy, you gotta do me a favor. I need a singer. You know,
great.
And he was he was really gracious about it. It was very cool, and that gave me the confidence to call up, you know, the rest of the people. Yeah. And then once I really got rolling, I started calling people I don't even know.
Well, I've just seen, I've seen sort of the rock and roll community, from afar. I'm outside of this record, and kind of a.
Well, you played on it.
I played on it, but I just came.
It's one of the coolest tracks on the record.
Oh, thanks.
You haven't heard it since.
I haven't heard it.
It's
no.
Cool.
It just appeared like the rock and roll community sort of rallied around you, and you've always been like that good guy, and I think it was great that these guys rallied around you.
Yeah, it was cool. I think it was a record that I couldn't have made any earlier in my career because I just wouldn't have had the pull to do it. And I built up all these relationships and played on a lot of people's records and sort of establish a certain amount of trust with a lot of people, and that's the only way I could have done it.
It's important, man, that trust thing. People don't really realize that musical trust is a big deal, isn't it?
And actually, music was sort of like the currency to get people to do this. It was like, I'm there for you if you need me for anything, or I've already done something with you, or whatever it was, and vice versa. And it was all sort of like that's what we were using for the going rate.
You're listening to the Slash Radio Takeover. More with Slash and more from the new album next. The Slash Radio Takeover continues. I'm Duff McKagan. There's a taste of the song Beautiful Dangerous with Fergie from the solo debut from Slash in stores this Tuesday. Later in the show, I'll play a song Slash did with Alice Cooper that does not appear on the new album. So the only place you're going to hear it is right here. Plus, one of the 2 songs on the album that features Miles Kennedy, who is going to tour with you, Slash, this summer. You had to finally decide on one singer, obviously, and probably getting one of those people was a challenge. All of them are an active band, or sort of, right? And so you settled on Miles, not a settle.
It wasn't really a settle. Let me sort of explain that whole Miles story, because you have a little bit to do with it too. Because what happened was I had one piece of music left, which was something I wrote during the Libertad tour, and I've been sort of attached to it. And it made the whole record without ever figuring out who was going to sing that song. So at the end, I was like, I got to figure out who's going to sing it. It's one of the few times I didn't have the vocalist already planned out and all that. So, Miles came up with the whole Zeppelin thing, and then Matt wanted him to join Velvet Revolver, right? Yeah. And I remember at that time I went and looked him up online and heard Alter Bridge.
Miles was considered for Led Zeppelin at one point. That's what Slash
I know we're having a regular conversation.
Yeah.
And so I heard him in Alter Bridge, and I thought it was great, but he sort of wrote him off as being already, committed to something else and all that. So at some point, like in December or something, I started going, well, who could I get to sing this? And I thought, that Miles guy's a good singer. I don't know that much about his voice. So I thought I'd cross my fingers and send it. And said, okay, here's a song, just, see if you like it. So he called me back and he goes, oh, it's right up my alley. And about 4 days later, he sent it back, and I sort of put it on very trepidatiously. I was like, not knowing what I was going to hear, and I pressed play, and he came on, and he was amazing. Just blew my mind. So that was sort of a revelation, one of the best discoveries on this record.
So he's going to go...
So he's going to do the dates, through... He's got Alter Bridge dates too. Now we're starting to juggle.
Oh,
so we're going straight through into October, and then he's got to do some Alter Bridge dates and something like
Cross that bridge when we get to it. Yeah. No pun intended. That was horrible.
Alter Bridge. Oh yeah, you got to keep that.
Sorry.
Anyway, but he's really a fantastic lead singer, and so what I think about all that.
Yeah, but back even before Weiland. His tape came across our thing.
That's what he told me. I didn't remember it.
I called him. I liked his band back then.
That was the Mayfield 5 or Mayfield 4. I remember that name. So, all things considered, somehow it just didn't register back then.
From the new Slash album, this is Starlight with Miles Kennedy on the Slash Radio Takeover.
Yeah, this is that song.